Here we are at the drop-off area, and today we're going to be taking a look at a trail called Dropout, and it's basically a bypass of the bulk of Talladega, but it's all natural, and it's the easiest natural trail they have here, so it's a good place to start if you are new to the steep and the rough stuff. But to get to it, you do have to follow the beginning of the Talladega line. So we're going to hit the run in here, come around the corner, and then it'll split. If you want to take a closer look at this first bit here, check out the Talladega video. I look at this a little bit closer there. Nice thing about that run-in is if you take it slow, you can just roll that all nice and easy. This ledge is about a 4 foot to flat, so keep that in mind. If that's not your thing, you can roll around it. And then right around this corner, you got to get ready to slow down, because the Talladega is to the left, that berm, and Dropout is right behind it here. And the first portion of this is probably the roughest. Here we are at the beginning of Dropout. You can see there's a little bit of a ridge up here. That's the Talladega berm. And then Dropout comes around the side. This first 100 yards or so of the trail is really some of the steeper and chunkier bits. So when you first take that turn thinking you're going to come into something, you know, nice and easy, it might make you wonder if you made the right decision, thinking you're going to get a nice easy roll down the mountain. It's not, I would say, overly technical, but you can see there's definitely some good sized chunk there. These rocks though, none of them are more than maybe a foot and a half tall when you roll off the back side of them, so you don't really have to worry too much. I would caution against going too slow though, because of some of the washout behind some of these rocks and dips. You can find yourself with a front end dipping down into a little wear spot, and sometimes it'll hang up on you and start to push you, not quite over the bars, but close enough that you kind of get that funny feeling in your stomach. So first bit of trail, it's a good eye-opener to start. We'll take a look at a couple other bits down the way, but there's nothing really a whole lot rockier and steepier than this, except for maybe one or two really short bits. Pretty chunky, nothing terrible, but definitely keep you on your toes if you're not into really rough, rocky terrain. After that first section, you get a little bit of a rest through some smoother bits. Before it starts to get a little chunky again. Here's another area that's pretty steep, similar to the beginning, I would say, but not quite as long. Pretty chunky coming in, and then rolls out pretty smooth, and you get a little bit of a break coming down around those next couple turns. If you look up at that tree root sticking out from the base of that tree, that's probably another 6-8 feet above my head, standing down here. The grade isn't terribly steep, but once you come over the top of that, you really get the sense that you've got enough momentum where it's going to be really hard to stop halfway down. So you want to come into it easy, and then kind of medium brake your way, and just be ready to lean left so you can catch this berm and let it pull you into the corner. If you try and take it high and force it, you'll probably find that you don't get the traction you're looking for. You gotta watch out for this right-hander and get you by surprise if you're going pretty fast and not looking for it. And there's one more tight right-hander coming up right here. That one's a little bit easier to see though when you approach it. And there's some bits in here that get pretty steep. This section. And this bit. And then a couple more spots. And I think the steepest short little chute is coming up right here. Now we're a little further down the trail, and like that last section we were looking at, this is another spot that's quite steep for this trail. Try and get a good shot of the grade here. And although not super chunky, it does put you in a position where once you come around that corner and roll into this, you don't have a whole lot of options in terms of deciding you want to stop halfway down and change your mind. And you do need to catch that little bit of a berm here and then immediately get into this next check berm if you have any sort of speed. Otherwise you'll find yourself dancing your way out of this. And beware, if you do come out of this nice and fast, having a good run, feeling great, that next turn down there is a deceptively short berm, and I've seen multiple people topside that just thinking it was going to hold the speed they had, and it didn't quite do the job. Of course, the better riders don't seem to have any trouble with it, but if you're intermediate like myself, it can catch you by surprise. Here. Not horribly steep, but if you're not used to steep, you definitely want to come into that slow, because you can't really change your mind halfway down. And we're almost to the end of where Dropout separates from Talladega. And they come back together right at the bottom of these berms. It's actually three lines coming together: the traditional Talladega Nights, which is a new jump option as of last year, and then the Dropout that we were just on. And right here, that's the rest of Talladega. And typically riders will take Dropout and then come down and roll the rest of this machine cut kind of slow. But technically, I believe that if you go straight, this is the rest of Dropout. So we'll hit this for completeness. It's a little bit steeper and tighter than you've seen so far. And finally, here we are at the continuation of Dropout, past the Talladega berm option that we looked at earlier. And another bit that's really quite steep for this trail. Try and get a shot of the grade here. Not overly technical, but when you come down in through here, you definitely get a good bit of speed, and you need to hold it around that corner. So definitely exercise some caution first time through here. Nothing too surprising around that corner, but there's no berm to hold you at this point. So best off to take it slow and pick your line carefully through some of these rocks. It's a little bit steeper and tighter than you've seen so far, but it's still manageable if you take it easy. Don't let your speed get away from you. Then you can kind of stay in mostly natural territory all the way down, except for these last couple berms. And that's the end of the dropout line. And this is the new trail out to the pickup. They've been reworking it the last several weeks. It seems like every week I come out, there's a little something different. And today they resurfaced and rerouted this a little bit since last time. So it's pretty muddy, as most of the stuff is here when it's first cut in, especially this time of year.